Chatting this time around on AEHL Rinkside with Marek Howell, a defenseman with the Calgary Royals U18 AAA squad in the Alberta Elite Hockey League. Marek, thanks very much for doing this. Appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before we talk about yourself personally, tell us about the season with the team so far. As we sit right now, you guys are right in the thick of it, battling for a playoff spot in the South Division.
It's been a bumpy ride, but we're finally figuring out we're a young team, so start of the year was a little bit off, but then we're kind of figuring out how to play as a team now.
Never hurts to go through a little adversity to learn about yourselves as a group, eh?
Yeah, no, especially at the start of the season, it's better early than late in the season.
How do you think your play has developed from the start of this year up until this point?
I think just the confidence in myself has gone up throughout the season. Just the start of the year, being a 15-year-old, knowing like I got to prove myself, and then just kind of doing that throughout the season, gaining that confidence.
Did it take you a while to sort of get back into the swing of things now that you're back into the throes of what's a normal season after everything that went on the last year?
Yeah, but this year I didn't know what to expect, but especially just with the regular season, it's a lot better.
Awesome. One of the highlights for you so far already this year was taking part in the WHL Cup here in Red Deer. You suited up for Team Alberta. You won the silver medal. Bittersweet finish, obviously, but overall, how did you enjoy playing at the WHL Cup?
It was awesome. Just the ability to represent your province was great. The speed of the game was a lot different for sure.
Have you represented Alberta or been part of a regional team before that?
I have. I was part of the Prospects Cup back in, oh God, a few years ago for sure. I can't remember exactly year, but I know sort of that.
So you've had a bit of a taste of that before playing at the WHL Cup. Obviously, nice to be able to test yourself against your peers in your age group at an event like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So the WHL Cup, that was in November. And then just a few weeks later, the way the world works is that the Western Hockey League's 2022 draft took place in early December. And you didn't have to wait very long to have your name called because it was in round number 1, 16th overall, that you went to the Moose Jaw Warriors. Take us through that day, America, and how you felt when you were drafted to the Western Hockey League by Moose Jaw.
The day kind of started the night before. It was lots of nerves, especially lots of excitement though as well. Just knowing like lots of great players have gone in that draft. So just the feeling like to be called, especially in the first round, was awesome.
Did you have a pretty good feeling that you were going to be selected by a club earlier than later?
I had the feeling, but at the same time, you never know with those things.
Don't ever want to take it for granted, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Can't jinx it.
Yeah, definitely. How excited were you when you found out it was Moose Jaw?
It was a great like feeling to hear my name, especially called by them. Just knowing like who they've developed, who they are developing, and then just like I've heard great things about the organization just through a couple buddies. So it was awesome to hear my name from them.
Yeah, they've had some pretty good defensemen go through that club over the years. If you look at a guy, especially like Morgan Riley out in Toronto, so if you get follow in his footsteps, that's a pretty cool opportunity.
Yeah.
So the Warriors on their website, they describe you as like a big throwback style defenseman. You're a big frame guy, 6'3" blue liner. Is that a big part of your game, playing physical, bit of old school hockey mixed in there?
Yeah, I think that's what I kind of base my game on, just being that really hard defender that forwards don't like to go in the corners with. But throughout the years, I've kind of started developing my skating and then just trying to create more offense into my game, especially because that's the way the game's kind of going in this year sort of thing. Just kind of transforming into that more offense type thing. But and then I'm trying to like just still having that strong base of just being that hard defender.
So not long after you got selected, the draft was on December 9th. You signed with the Warriors not very long after, and then even soon right after that, you jump into it with your first ever Western Hockey League game versus the Regina Pats. Take us through that experience and how it was for you.
It was a ton of nerves for sure, but just that I was pretty proud of myself. Just kind of just that realization of that a few years ago, like I was watching these guys and now I'm there playing while people are actually watching me was pretty cool. And then especially to be on the ice with a guy like Connor Bedard, who's just a year older than me, was pretty crazy to see how good he is.
Yeah, no kidding. I imagine it was quite the eye opener just to get a firsthand look at him. And were you on the ice at the same time as him at all?
Yeah, a few times. Just his speed, the way he moves the puck is something else.
For sure. They've got some pretty good defensemen there in Moose Jaw. I know that they're putting together a pretty good season as it was. So we're able to pick up a few things from the guys that were there.
Yeah, especially there was Hunt wasn't there. He was injured there for a bit, but I picked up a few things from Majid, then
Kadura,
yeah, all those guys. Yeah.
Very nice.
Good decor.
Awesome. What was perhaps the biggest eye opener that you found that night, Marek, playing your first game?
I think was like the speed was a lot different, but I think the way just the guys carry themselves on the ice, just with every little detail, they take so much more pride in everything. I found.
Very cool. When it comes to influences, players that you've watched over the years or played with or whatnot, who are some of the players out there that have really influenced you and that you perhaps try and model your game after?
So from like guys like in the NHL, kind of say I try to model like my game after like guys like Roman Josi, Victor Hedman, just those guys, big, strong defenders who also can play offense at the same time.
Yeah, and guys that when called upon can play 25, 30 minutes a night.
Exactly,
Big fan of lots of ice time.
Yeah.
Nice. And normally I like to ask guys about coaching influences growing up and stuff, but you don't have to look very far because the guy who you grew up in the same house with has coached for a lot of years, Marek Howell, head coach of the UFC Dinos.
Yeah, so I know it may sound a little cheesy, but I think he is definitely the best coach I've probably had. Like, it is good to be his kid, but at the same time, he's been around lots of like pro guys, like junior, all that type of stuff. So he knows what it takes to be at that next level. So it's been great to have him in my back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. And he's had some good years with the UFC over the last little while. And he, of course, had a taste of life in the Western Hockey League back in the day as well. So he can share his experiences. And I guess if nothing else too, you guys can kind of marvel at how that level of hockey has evolved over the years too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hockey players all have sort of their own weird habits, superstitions, whatnot. Anything that you might have on game days or just throughout the course of the hockey season that you might admit to being unusual, or just something that you have to do the same way every time throughout the year? What kind of hockey player are you that way?
I'm not crazy superstitious when it comes to that stuff, but there's one thing where, like, once my stick's taped, I don't like anyone to touch it. I just like it to be set there, and then I don't know why, but I feel like every time it is touched, my game's a little off, but that could just be me as well.
Well, there could be some science to it there. I mean, you got to be one with the stick, right? If you don't want anyone else's karma getting in the way.
Yeah.
Nice. And judging by the fact, I mean, as we sit here, you've got 12 points in 25 games. There is a bit of offense to your game as well. So perhaps there is something to being one with the stick, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Just looking forward to a great finish to the season with the Royals and making hopefully a push to the postseason.
Yeah. I think eventually by the end of the year or end of the season, I guess, I think our team is going to be will be one at the end. So I think playoffs, I think will be good.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, we'll keep an eye on the Royals and how you guys do throughout the rest of the regular season and the postseason. And also, the fact that I work for the Red Deer Rebels, I'll be watching your Western Hockey League career closely over the next few years as well. So, Marek, congratulations on all your success so far this season, and all the best moving forward.
All right. Thank you.